Jerry. Nasa holding room. So yung DFA lang ang narito sa kwartong to. Okay, maraming salamat. At nananawagan tayo kay Attorney Dana Alberto, ang Legislative Committee COMSEC, to acknowledge the presence of our resource persons who are here today. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
The Committee on Finance, Subcommittee I would like to acknowledge the presence of our distinguished guests, namely, from the Department of Foreign Affairs, we have Secretary Maria Teresa P. Lazaro, Undersecretary Maria Helen B. De La Vega, Undersecretary Maria Teresa B. Dizon de Vega, Assistant Secretary Ezedin H. Tago, Deputy Undersecretary Zaldi B. Patron, Assistant Secretary Ana Marie L. Hernando, Assistant Secretary Maria Teresa T. Almahuela, Assistant Secretary Marshall Louis M. Alferez, Assistant Secretary Anne Halandoon Luis, Assistant Secretary Robespierre T. Bolivar, Assistant Secretary Christopher B. Montero, Assistant Secretary Emilio T. Fernandez, Assistant Secretary H. J. Celine Quintana, from the Foreign Service Institute, we have Executive Director Indira C. Bañares. From the UNESCO National Commission of the Philippines Secretariat, Deputy Executive Director Lindsay A. Barrientos. From the Technical Cooperation Council of the Philippines, we have Chair Alternate Maria Andrelita S. Austria. From the Presidential Commission on Visiting Forces, we have Undersecretary Antonio Atanasio A. Habulan. That will be all, Senator Marcos. Thank you.
Yes, maraming salamat. Hence, we start with the budget for foreign affairs. Medyo late ang pag-submit kasi ng mga papeles, pasensya. Kaya medyo nahirapan kami. Ganun pa man, andito ang ating mga tinitignan, no? So apparently overall, if I'm correct, is there a presentation, Secretary Lazaro, please? Or tuloy-tuloy, diretso na tayo?
Actually, Your Honor, we have a presentation, but this is something that we have shown this to you a few weeks back.
That's correct. It's the
But
same. It's no
the same.
major change.
Yeah, yes, done.
Oo, sige.
We can go straight.
So we can go ahead.
Your
Unless you
Honor,
want to highlight something, are there any new salient points that we need to learn about?
None whatsoever, Your Honor.
Oo, pareho lang eh.
Yeah.
Oo, so ganun pala eh. Okay, that being the case, let's proceed. There appears to be a not quite 8% addition, is this correct? Overall? So from 2025, 27.611 plus, it's now 29.807 billion. Tama po ba? So there appears to be an addition largely encompassed by SSL. Diba salary adjustments ang karamihan? Wala namang major dagdag ang pagkaintindi ko. So, yes. Yes, I think the greater interest among my colleagues will involve policy questions. So, in your submissions as well as in your repeated appearances in the Senate, the Secretary has repeatedly asserted the DFA's desire to engage China and other stakeholders in the West Philippine Sea and the South China Sea in pursuing effective diplomacy, meaningful dialogue, pragmatic approaches, and other peaceful means. So, just as an update by way of information, what is the status of the negotiations on the Code of Conduct in the West Philippine Sea? What's stalling the negotiations and what are the courses of action given that this has taken so long? What is it now? Is it 20 years? 2002 pa yata yung dati? Asa na ba tayo?
Actually, Your Honor, it's approaching. It's just like the DOC, it's approaching about the same time. But if I just give a perspective, Your Honor, In 2023, it was the decision of the ASEAN foreign ministers that this code of conduct be, I mean, the product itself should be finished by 2026, which is 3 years. And therefore, that is, we consider this ASEAN China Code of Conduct as a deliverable, hopefully by ASEAN for our
Why do
during
we
our
need
chairship.
another 3 years?
That
Dahil naalala ko there was a date given. I'm not certain if it was 2023. A date was given, August 2023,
correct.
and we were all expecting it. What happened? I
Well,
think
They gave us 3 years, Your Honor.
Who gave us?
The foreign ministers, ASEAN foreign ministers.
yes, that was the agreement kasi hindi magkasundo.
Hindi-
There
hindi
were some who were very legalista and wanted all the details, and there were others who wanted broad strokes. Is that the general consensus?
Just to give a succinct view of this, there were actually 4 milestone issues.
Okay.
It's the legality, whether this is legally binding or not. Second is the scope, the geographical scope. The third is actually whether the relationship between the declaration of conduct and the code of conduct. What is the relationship? And the fourth is actually,
What is the declaration versus the code of conduct?
well, the declaration of conduct, which was in 2002, is non-binding. It just really merely says that
It was a declaration.
it was
yeah?
just a
So the
declaration.
declaration was the one is referred to as the one in 202. The
That's
only
correct.
one we have, as a
That's,
matter of
this
fact.
is the only thing we
Right.
have, Your Honor. So what is the relationship? There is a lot of discussions on this. And the fourth one are the terms of reference. Example, what do you mean by self-restraint? These are issues that have been in discussions for quite some time. Now,
What's the likelihood of it's actually getting finished on the self-imposed deadline of 2026?
to be,
Is there anything that's going to happen that's going to suddenly magically allow us to have a code of conduct?
well, the next meeting, Your Honor, will be in Beijing. And I think this is the month of November. And we're hoping that, of course, hope springs eternal, that there will be something that will come out to it. But however, we are still of the view during our chairship, but we haven't discussed this
What's the
with our-
Philippine position?
The Philippine position is one,
Is it enforceable?
it should be legally
Binding.
binding.
Okay, and the geographical scope?
That's still something that we're also looking into.
Okay, and how do we see what is this relationship of the DOC versus COC?
Well, we're of the view that the code of conduct is definitely different in the sense that the DOC was just a mere declaration. So it's still the
And how do we, as Filipinos, define self-restraint?
there are various definitions of
Kaya
self-restraint.
nga eh. But what's ours? Do we more or less have some kind of negotiating position?
Yes, we do, Your Honor. Let me just, I think the self-restraint is something which is, basically, Your Honor, that the parties will not take any action whatsoever. But it's the whole gamut of discussions on this. And, well, China has also its own definition.
Yes, and what is that? Because then you proceed to the definition of the actions. What will actions encompass?
Well, it's what is happening right now in our waters, the certain collisions, certain the things that the situation that is
Oo.
happening now. So this is something that that has the whole ASEAN has different definitions of self-restraint. Members of the ASEAN
Yes,
member states.
understood. So, no, I think we have, if you have further studies on the four issues, perhaps you can share with us in the event that it's asked. I suspect between us girls that in fact there will be more questions about policy than your actual budget at the plenary. So let's just be over prepared
Mhm.
with the hope that we'll have all the answers. Okay, in the past, the Philippines was keen on filing diplomatic protests every time there was an incident in the West Philippine Sea. Is this still the case? Is this all we can do? File diplomatic protests? For example, in the last 12 months, how many of these notes verbal have we issued? And what are the practical effects of this barrage of protests? Is there an alternative? I know that in the past, the secretary has said that bicameral and regular meetings with the China officials is always in order, in addition to the protests. Pero in the meantime, nung nakaraang taon, nakailang protesta na ba tayo na note verbal?
Your Honor, to be exact, we have actually 223 diplomatic protests
Teka, within the year lang?
within this is
Within
for,
1 year lang?
I'm sorry, this for 2025. Sorry, we have 25. Actually, the latest one was just
Yeah, a few days
just
ago.
today.
Ah, today?
I'm sorry. This is
So I'm sorry, it's 47, and we just-
2025?
2025 is 47. A total since 2022 is 245. And Your Honor, the latest diplomatic protest is
Mm-mm.
what just happened recently
That's right.
in Baho de
The collision.
Yes. To your question on what is really the effect, I would say that these are this is really rather a coordination between the concerned security agencies and the Department of Foreign Affairs. The National Maritime Council is also
Is there any practical effect?
practical effect, probably not now, but in
Right.
a later situation.
So
Um,
you're saying it's by way of publication to the rest of the agencies involved?
No, it is actually the security agencies give us
The information.
the information and all the details, and then that is the basis of the protest that we give give to the Chinese embassy.
And in addition to this, for example, in the last collision, day before yesterday, I believe, what will we do in addition to the protest, the usual note verbal? Ano pa magagawa natin?
Your Honor, we've been discussing this issue lengthily during meetings with the security agencies. There are other proposals, but probably I can give it to you in a confidential manner.
Okay.
Yes.
But of course, like most Filipinos, the senators are all very frustrated by the single effort of note verbal to no practical or significant or visible effect. Hence, we'd like to know what the other alternatives are. What else can we do? You have said in the past that bilaterals and constant dialogue is the answer. We know that, but is there anything else that we can do? So perhaps that's what we need to answer, because this will inevitably be asked, I believe.
Yes, Your Honor, we are ready, but this is in collaboration with other concerned government agencies.
So what are the concrete ways by which the DFA engages China? I know that you have regular ministerial meetings.
That's correct.
What else are there? And there are the ASEAN multilaterals. What else are there?
Well, I have mentioned that in the past, and you've taken note of it, about the bilateral consultative mechanism. We have also the foreign ministry consultations. The bilateral consultative mechanism on the South China Sea. So these are all issues that are in the.
How often is
concerning-
that? That's regular,
That's
di ba?
supposed to be twice a year. We held the first for this year. It was held in Xiamen, and I attended it myself.
Okay.
Now we're looking at
The
another
ministerial meeting is,
The ministerial meeting is about the same time. It's usually back to back. And then, Your Honor, we also have meetings on consular consultations, which was just held about a month or 2 months ago, July actually, to be exact. And the consular consultations is really very important to stress out a good number of issues that may be irritants as of now, but can become big issues in the future.
okay. The foreign ministerial meeting is strictly ASEAN or involves a larger group?
The
with
bilateral,
Asia Pacific.
the
The foreign
it's
ministerial.
bilateral.
It's just bilateral.
Bilateral.
also.
What I mentioned are just
I
all
thought
bilateral.
These are all
mechanisms.
bilaterals. Okay.
Yes. And then, of course, Your Honor, we have the
Yeah.
ASEAN China. We have the EAS, East Asia Summit. And we have the ARF, the ASEAN Regional Forum